All right, welcome back to the Team O'Neill Rally School. I'm Wyatt. What we're gonna talk about today, everything you need to know about shifting, whether you're just trying to get a little bit better or a little quicker out on the track and save your gearbox and that kind of thing. There's a really easy way to do this, and it's to make a quick little chart, and you can personalize this to your own vehicle, you know, a motorcycle, a bicycle, anything really that has gears, and take a quick chart of RPM, revolutions per minute, versus speed. And let's take our speed from, 10, 20, 30, all the way up to an optimistic 120 miles an hour. And then we're gonna take our RPM from 1,000 RPM to 2, 3, to a whoppingly optimistic 10,000 RPM. Doesn't matter what it might be, but again, if maybe you've got a motorcycle, whatever it is. This is something that you could do yourself, either on a computer or a piece of graph paper even, or something like that. And what you need to do is figure out kind of the approximate power band of your car for a performance driving scenario. A normal car, we're gonna cap it off at, 8,000 RPM red line. Anything above that, you've exploded your motor. And we're gonna say anything below, 2,500, almost 3,000 RPM, you're just not making that much power. So we're gonna leave this here as kind of, especially if you're going quickly, that's the range that you're gonna wanna stay in. What you can do is figure out your own range of your own gears. So first gear in your car is good from 0 miles an hour at idle, say 1,000 RPM, all the way up to say, 30 miles an hour at, your red line is right about there. So you plot those 2 points and you connect them with a line. And that is you in first gear. You can go from 0 to 30 miles an hour. Your speed increases as your RPM increases, or you can slow down, and that's what your first gear is worth essentially to you. Second gear. Say 10 miles an hour to, 40, 50 miles an hour. Depends on your car. This is gonna be different. So we'll just make a hypothetical 2 points, connect them with a line. Biggity bam boom. That's where you're at. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. So you can find these data points for yourself in any vehicle really easily, as long as you got a safe place to go quickly, obviously. And you could make this graph completely accurate for your own car. So the thing to realize about this is that when you're driving quickly, you can only exist on one of these lines when you're in gear and driving along. Where in a street car, you might be over here or over there or somewhere in here. If you're in neutral or you have the clutch in, that's acceptable. As soon as you let that clutch out and you're in gear, you're gonna snap and you're gonna be on one of these lines, if that makes sense. When you take off and drive, you're here, you're going accelerating in first gear. When you get to this red line, you push the clutch in, the RPM is going to drop, right? And you are going to want to be doing, 4,500 RPM at that, 25 miles an hour in order to shift smoothly. You accelerate again, you let off the gas, put it in neutral, and you start shifting up, and here's your happy place at, 45 miles an hour, or whatever that is. You're gonna wanna be at about 5,000 RPM when you let that clutch out. And we've all felt someone who's jerky at shifting and the car bucks and makes some violent motions, is because you don't time that right. You don't end up right here. And you don't have to be perfect, especially with a synchro mesh transmission on the street. You've got some slack, but if you let the RPM drop all the way down to here, when you let the clutch out, it's gonna go because it needs to be there. It's going to be on one of these lines when you let the clutch out. So I've tidied my little graph up here a little bit just to bring you through what is rev matching on downshifts and heel and toe and all of that stuff. It really starts to come into play. Say you're in fifth gear going 100 miles an hour. That's where you are. And coming into a corner, Say you've got a tight corner and that's going to be a 40-mile-an-hour corner. What are you going to do about that? Well, if you've got 40 miles an hour, you can either be, basically at an idle in fourth gear, or at about 4,000 RPM in third gear, or, approaching red line in second gear. So those are your options. As you come into a turn like that, you want to be doing 40. Do you go for the top end of second gear, the middle of third, or the bottom of fourth? Most people hopefully would make the choice here to go for the middle of third gear perhaps. How do you get smoothly from this point right here to this point right here? There's two answers. One is if you can outrun the engine RPM dropping with the brake pedal. So if you can stop fast enough that as the RPM drops, your speed is dropping faster and you can accomplish that shift nice and easily, that's a wonderful thing. And I'm talking about when you let off the gas, that RPM is going to drop at a certain speed. That depends on how many cylinders you've got and the weight of the flywheel and a bunch of other things. But essentially, when you let off the gas, watch your tachometer drop. It's not going to go like bound to zero immediately. There's going to be a little lag as it drops. And if you can scrub your speed faster than that tach drops, again, it's like shooting a moving target for a second there, but you can get it. Like, especially if you went for this shift, I'm going to brake hard, get it down to 40 miles an hour as the RPM is dropping, you might be able to outrun it, to 2,000 RPM. As the tach drops and the speed's dropping, if you can time it right, that's going to be a smooth shift. If not, the problem is your speed is dropping and the RPM is dropping, and now you find yourself in no man's land here, but you need to go there. This is where that blip of the throttle comes into play, and your heel and toe braking comes into play. Your speed is going down because you're on the brakes, the engine RPM is going down because you've got the clutch in. Heel and toe and rev that engine. If you can get the RPM back up as the speed is still dropping into this area, you're going to be good. What most people do heel and toe shifting is brake hard, and as they're approaching that point, they give it a big blip and actually time it again on the way down. So graphically, that would look more like it's coming down. You give it a big blip of throttle, and then as that's coming down again, you time it, and that's where you hit it. But that's your target, and you need to get there. You need to be at 4,500 RPM and 40 miles an hour in order for that shift to work. If you're going too quickly or too slowly, or your RPM is too high or low, it's going to be a jerky shift. So that's the point of heel and toe shifting. You see in race cars a lot of times people do it left foot braking and shifting without the clutch. If you've got the clutch in and or you're in neutral, you can exist at any point on this graph. You can be over here or something in fourth gear with the clutch in. But as soon as you let that clutch out, you're going to snap to the line. And where that's going to happen, at 90 miles an hour, chances are you're going to just over rev the engine. It's going to bounce right to that point. On a slippery road, what you might find is it won't over rev the engine, but instead it'll slow down those drive wheels. Right? We've got a video we put out a few weeks ago on shift lock, and that's exactly what's happening. If you're driving quickly, if you're near the limits of grip and you downshift and let the clutch out without matching the RPM, all of a sudden your car's doing 90 here in neutral, but when you let the clutch out in fourth gear, all of a sudden those drive wheels are only doing 50. So the car is going to get into a big skid. And if you're anywhere in between, if you've got some grip, you'll end up here. If you've got more grip, you'll end up there. And if you're on dry pavement, you'll end up there. So this would be like ice, snow, gravel, pavement is how that's going to work. When you're in fourth gear and you dump the clutch at 90 miles an hour at 3,000 RPM, that's where you're going to end up. So that's why driving in the winter is always easier, because the tires can spin and lock up and you don't have to worry about it so much. Where on pavement, you get a lot more jerky shifts and people on the track are over revving engines and forcing engines beyond, if this is your red line, you've got to be pretty cognizant of that. You might have a rev limiter in your car, but if you're doing 80 miles an hour and for some reason you put it in second gear, when you dump the clutch, it's going to over rev the engine because it's trying to go to this point in space, or it's gonna lock the tires up and now your tires are doing 15 miles an hour while the car is doing 90. So that's where, everybody would know, don't put it in second gear at 80 miles an hour and just dump the clutch. But when you do, you're gonna snap to that second gear line somewhere. If you don't have much grip, you're down here. The more grip you have, you end up either here, or on dry pavement, you would end up there and force over revving the motor. So that force over revving the motor on pavement is really important to understand that you can do that and that you don't want to do that. Where on snow and ice, you won't be over revving the engine as much. You'll just be locking tires up and sliding around more. So hopefully this was a positive thing and it's not just a huge confusing mess. But if that maybe got one or two little things to click in your head, then it was worth your time. And thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in any high performance driving stuff, check out the Team O'Neill Rally School. We're out here sliding cars around every single day and you can be a part of that. teamoneil.com. If you've got any questions about shifting or certainly any of this stuff, please add it in the comments. If you got any stories or that kind of thing, we'd love to hear them. Other than that, thanks for watching. I've been Wyatt. Come visit us sometime at Team O'Neill.